the deity that created this realm, Yaldabaoth, seen what was above his head and seeked to duplicate it in a botched job. You understand? They tell you in Kabbalah, the first triad of the world is facing up, then you see the next three Sifras, the triad is facing down, and then the next three, another down, and then the last one, the last Sifra is Malkuth, which you are. So they tell you it's the real world folded over on itself, reflected on itself, and a copy of that, and then an afterthought. Meaning a rose down here is a reflection of the real world, and still above the Ketha is the three trimesters of birth into the nothingness. And the nothingness is not a place, is not a destination. The three Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sofar represent the three trimesters of birth. The same thing happens when you get down here. You're in the nothingness of the womb for 9 months, 3 trimesters. Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sofar. Then you become manifested into what you are, into this which is nothingness, or into nothing or something new. So when you go back up the tree of life, the Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sofar is a process of being born back into the realm of nothingness, because it's undescribable by a human brain. So as a human, you don't want to humanize your end result. That's why it's the nothingness. What later the nothingness became all descriptions that don't really describe nothing, but only ideas. Nirvana, the sweet by and by, heaven, the afterlife, the upper room, Shangri-La, all of these words are not really saying what they are, but it's kind of like Nirvana. It's a description of the ultimate pleasure. You understand? And that came from the idea of the nothingness as the pathway to heaven. So it's nothing because your brain can't describe it, but it doesn't mean that it is nothing. That's stupid. Alright? So those 3 aspects of darkness, those triple stage darkness, when Elijah Muhammad said we came out of triple stage darkness, coming out the 3 trimesters of the dark womb, which as above, so below. The black woman is represented as Malkuth and as Ketha, 2 different polarities on the black woman. That is called Mary the Virgin, Mary Magdalene the whole on earth. Come on, y'all gonna get this shit today. The royal penis is clean. You understand? Mary Magdalene the whore, or in the occult, is represented as the scarlet woman, or Jezebel. It represents the black woman on earth as the fallen daughter. In Ketha, she's the divine mother, unscathed, untouched, and pure. When she had the baby, which are the Sifras below, in the Malkuth, she's Mary Magdalene or Whore. Both women interfaced with the Christ energy in different contexts. What did Mary Magdalene do for Christ? She washed his feet with her hair. Meaning she took her consciousness on her head and started working with him in Malkuth. Your feet represent Malkuth, your foundation. She's raising him up with her consciousness, the great divine feminine. That's his enlightenment, the great divine feminine. The divine feminine is your enlightenment. Read a book called Oracle of the Illuminati by William Henry. He's famous for clones of the Illuminati, but you want to read Oracle of the Illuminati, where he tells you about the divine mother. Jason, July, August, September, October, November, which are the dog days of summer, which are the Christ energy, which is where you get the name Jason, which is another name for Jesus. Jason in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, or Jason in the Golden Fleece. The Golden Fleece, there was a Broadway play called the Technicolor Dreamcoat, which was this coat. That dream coat is the great divine feminine energy. Alright? Now, so these are different polarities talking about the black woman. The nothingness, the triple stage darkness, is you in the womb. In the nothingness. Because technically, the baby is nothing and shit. That's even the debate with abortion. The baby's nothing till they're born. No, the baby's something in the womb, you know. But that nothingness of the womb, because you don't remember. Some people said they do remember, but technically, for the most part, people don't remember being in the womb. That represents you remember nothing because you don't remember the process. And even if you have flashes of being in the womb, you don't remember your day-to-day life in that motherfucking womb. You may have flashes of, I remember something and blah, blah, blah. But you don't remember how shit was going down in the womb, you know what I'm saying? And you know, all the rest of that shit because it represents the nothingness. But was it happening? Yes. Because other people who were here were already observing your wife get bigger, her hormones change, her eating differently until you came here. So yes, something was happening, but it was still nothingness from your perspective. So you're going into that realm of nothingness spiritually. The iron, nine, so far, when you get to the concept of Kabbalah, because you're being birthed again. So I have been born again based upon me relieving myself. All the Siphoras represents different aspects of your humanity. One side of the tree is mercy, the other side is severity. So let's say you're a bad human being. You're a Saddam Hussein or whoever they say is bad. You're just pulling from one side of the tree. Let's say you're a good human being. You're Obama. You're into Greenpeace and feeding the homeless. You're just another aspect of humanity and you're still stuck. That middle pillar, neither good or bad, is where you're trying to walk. That's the path of the young Jedi. You understand? The middle path is Malkuth, Yoshad, Tifera, the Darth, and Ketha. They showed you that in Star Wars, my niggas. Malkuth, slavery. Anakin was on that planet. He was a slave. Remember that? Him and his mama was a slave. On that sand planet. That's the desert. That's Malkuth, Sifra number 1. Who are the Jedi? The Sifra Tifera touches every single Sifra on the tree. And it has a path to every Sifra, which means it's the balancer of the force. Each force is a Sifra or a path. It balances it all because they all meet at Tefra, the sunbeams, the Jedi Council, the light. So when Anakin got in front of the Jedi Council, they said, you can't be a Jedi. You're worried about your mother. What's your mother? Right below Tifra, right above Malkuth is Yoshad, the moon, the mother. So they're worried about him not being able to stay balanced in the force, that he would slip back down because of his mother. Right? Right above Tifra is called Darth, the hidden Sifra, where you have who? Darth Vader, where the true change happens. Because while they're telling you in all Kabbalistic study, except for Crowley and the motherfuckers, not to fuck with the Darth is the backside of the tree, and all this kind of shit like that. That's the way to the Clip-Off. Clip-Off is just all poppycock. The Darth is the key. The Darth is the symbolic death, or the gateway. Darth means knowledge. And what did Adam and Eve do? They bit off the tree of knowledge. They took the fruit with Sifra on the tree, or the fruit, the hidden fruit, or the fruit you ain't supposed to eat off of, is the fruit of knowledge, Darth. Who told them not to eat off of it? That same God, Ahriman, or the same demiurge energy that said you shouldn't become a god. You eat off the fruit of life, meaning the fruit of earth, the fruit of humanity. He said you could eat all you want off of that shit. That's the front side of the Sifra tree. And all of that is in that Kabbalistic pathwork are ways just to become better, more smarter humans. When you go through that Darth and the Clip-Off, and I did lectures already on the Clip-Off, because you will get very little understanding, even by the niggas who teach this shit, of what the Clip-Off is and really means, because they tell you it's the shells. But what they attribute to the back to the tree of life is actually most of what the Clip-Off really is. See, they say the Clip-Off is basically a shadow or afterthought of the tree of life. Shit that fall off the demonic realm. But we know out of darkness comes light. I thought, what happened to all of that? So if the clip-off is the dark side of the tree, and out of darkness comes light, it must be reflecting the front side of the tree. So while you think of the clip-off is some shit that fell off, listen to the own shit you say. Out of darkness comes light. This shadow world reflects this light world. So the clip-off is the real world, niggas. And this